What does it mean to be a good student? This is a tough question. For me, it often meant that I had to be at the top of my class. Meant that I had to be part of different groups. It meant that I had to be affiliated with many different things. But as I've grown older and I've done things in my life and I've accomplished all the things that I sort of have set out to accomplish, had to reassess what it means to be a good student or a good scholar of this world. And it's a lot more challenging because what you have to do is deconstruct a lot of how you understand the world. What you realize is that there's a lot of patterns that exist where you are trying to accomplish things to impress upon other people. You're trying to show other people, maybe even including yourself, that you can accomplish these things. But if you're like me, what's going to happen is that if you are a good student, you will accomplish those things. You'll get to where you want to go to, and then you have to reassess, what does it mean? What is all of this all about? Going through, maybe it's a midlife crisis or an existential crisis, but we often have to reassess, why are we doing these things? And I can tell you a rational way of actually accomplishing those things, what we would teach you in an MBA school, or how I'd rationally think about them, where I would have different criteria and you check box these different criteria of what it means to be a good person. But that doesn't feel right to me. A lot of what we actually do in life is pretty ordinary. It's pretty routine, it's pretty boring. It's pretty much the same thing that we do every other day, and pretty much the same thing that somebody else does halfway across the world. A lot of the actions are very similar, and the only difference between us and them is really the roles that we end up taking on, or what other people sort of impress upon you or project upon you to make you think that you are somehow successful. And I know that this is kind of a difficult thing for a lot of people to believe or to think about, but there is a lot of social stuff that goes on, society stuff that goes on, that just happens. And if we deconstruct it and we look at what it is to be me, what it is to be part of this larger thing, I think we take on a lot more humility. We become a lot more humble with ourselves. And I think this humility is important as you go about and you start accomplishing more things, where you realize, I'm no different than anybody else. Why am I here? I feel like an imposter. I feel like I shouldn't be here, but I'm here anyways. And if that's the case, if I'm here, how do I make sure that I make other people feel more comfortable? How do I give them more peace of mind? How do I make this a more kinder environment that I actually live in? I think if you take a step back and you realize that much of all of this is just show, and you could live a good life, you could feel good at any given moment in time, then you're more focused on making other people feel kinder and better inside. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.